You're working a job, or maybe two, because you've got to pay the bills. But on the side, you've got a business as an entrepreneur, as a creator. You want to take your side hustle to startup levels of success? You're in the right place. That's what I did over 10 years ago. And now, thousands of students across the world later, that's what I want to help you to do too. Hi, this is Stacey Storino, and welcome to the Side Hustle to Startup podcast. I've been an attorney since 1998, an entrepreneur really for 25 years, and a business coach for the last 10 of those years. My goal is to help you to go from tiny to mighty as an entrepreneur so that you can leave that long day job or gaggle of gig jobs aside so that you can focus on your own business full time if that's your desire. If you've got 45 seconds and you want a free and useful tip guide to help you make sure that your entrepreneurial journey is kicked off right, you'll want to pick up my snackable size tip filled guide at don'tbeafakeguru.com. It's all one word, the website, don'tbeafakeguru.com. And with it, you'll know that your brand presence is a successful one, whether you're looking to be a guru per se or not. If you've got a brand, you're a brand leader, and that means that you are a guru, my friend. So embrace it and do right by it and your ideal customer with my guide. Anyway, I created the Side Hustle to Startup podcast to give you simple, easy, and actionable steps so that you can go from super crazy busy life, right, where your business is nothing but a side hustle, whether you like it or not, to helping you grow in a realistic way to a startup level of success. Each podcast covers a quick point about what's going on in the world today, what's new and fresh, and how it relates to you as an entrepreneur, and why that point matters to you, and what to do about it. And we'll also cover a tip to help you in terms of entrepreneurial financial offense and a tip to get you to double down, on your entrepreneurial defense so that this way, every single day, you can move closer to your goal of startup type success. You're in the right place. So let's get started. Okay. So today I want to talk about Coachella. Coachella 2023 is currently going on. It is April 16th when I'm recording this, 2023. And Coachella is an event that happens over the course of 2 weekends, just in case you didn't know. It goes typically Friday through Sunday each time. So this time around, it's April 14th, 2023 to Sunday, today, April 16th, 2023. And then next weekend, it'll go on again Sunday, through April 2023. And so here's the thing about Coachella. Each weekend, it's supposed to be largely the same lineup of vendors and lineup of, musical, groups and performances. There may be little changes, but it's supposed to be the same exact event otherwise. So it's like a huge musical session. It's a huge musical festival, kind of like Lollapalooza from back in the day. It's also supposed to be a huge showcase of like fashion, and it's where all the it people go, all the big entrepreneurs, creators, anybody who is an influencer, anybody likes to go there. Most of the influencers tend to show up during the first weekend where everything is totally new, everything is totally fresh, because the next weekend it's supposed to be again largely the same event as the weekend before. The good benefit about showing up for the second Friday through Sunday round of things is, well, I guess twofold. Number one, if you don't want a bunch of influencers all around and you don't want to have to fight so much for floor space, my understanding is the second weekend is really good for that. And also, if you're really into like more smooth and seamless all the kinks worked out of the kind of live events that you like to go to. You like your live musical events to be more like that. Historically, the second weekend is where all of the bumps and all of the irregularities from the first weekend's performances are worked out. So all the acts are a lot smoother, things go a little bit better. But of course, on the flip side, that second weekend doesn't tend to have as many influencers as the first weekend has. So if you like to go like star spotting, the second weekend won't be for you. So it's kind of like a trade off, but the two weekends are really supposed to be largely the same thing. Okay, so Coachella is definitely a music festival. It's definitely a fashion forward festival. It's held in India. Let's see. Hold on. It's held in Indio, California every year. The founders made it to highlight some of the world's biggest artists and also up and coming musicians. Okay. It has typically 250,000 festival goers every single year. So it's a really big success. And it does tend to bring in a lot of revenue for the organizers and the owners of the event, reportedly bringing in over $100 million every year. And it started back in 1999 as just a single weekend, 2-day festival, not even three. So Coachella, there's a lot of like camping and glamping that goes on. It's totally a fun event. Like I said, the two weekends are very much supposed to be the same in terms of who performs what. So you don't necessarily have to go to both, but people do want to get in there. You don't have to be famous to go to Coachella. But of course, like I said, a lot of influencers will be there. You're going to tend to see a lot of like TikTok and Instagram and YouTubers and other, influencers, folks that are really working the creator economy being there. So even if that's not your entrepreneurial model, that's okay. Who plays at Coachella? Of course, it can change every year. There's all sorts of great music and food and game and other activities to go and enjoy. So here's the thing. Like from an entrepreneurial standpoint, you might say to yourself, why would I care to go to something like Coachella, right? Maybe my business has nothing to do with the music industry. You might say to yourself, maybe my business has nothing to do with fashion. So why do I care to go to these events? And so one thing that I kind of want you to think about today, when we're having this podcast episode, is that, well, there's a few things I want you to think about in relation to Coachella 2023 and how you use something like that to influence yourself as an entrepreneur. Again, even if you have nothing to do with music, even if you have nothing to do with fashion, why would you want to go to Coachella or an event like Coachella? Why is Coachella so very successful besides the obvious entertainment factor? Well, number one, I find that all work and no play makes Jack or Jill a very dull boy, girl, or person, right? So, like, you don't want to never go out and have fun as an entrepreneur. Again, I've been a coach for over 10 years. I've been an entrepreneur for over 25 years. A lot of people like to hit their businesses hard. And then it's like all work, all the time, all responsibilities. And even once you get proof of concept, you have money coming in the door from people who don't know you from anywhere. A stranger just goes, here's my credit card, take my money. Even once you get to profitability, which hopefully you do quickly, even if your profit margins start to go up, eventually you're just on a treadmill where all you're doing is working and producing and you don't have fun. So one kind of 30,000 foot view piece of advice that I like to give that I just find that coaches don't often give enough is to try to have some fun. But since you're an entrepreneur and you might be juggling a lot personally and professionally in your work life balance, that kind of advice kind of sounds a little bit smarmy unless we don't have something actionable behind it for you, as whether you're a solopreneur or you're a small business owner with a small but mighty team, let alone something bigger. Like, how do you leverage Coachella 2023 or something like Coachella that might come up in the future that you're interested in going to? And maybe it does have more of a relationship with your business or your ideal customer, or both, right? Your business, your offerings, your ideal customer. You would go to have fun, of course, but there's always this strategic plan of what kind of content you can create while you're at that event. So that, and this is going to dovetail into the two tips that I like to give at the end of every podcast. So this is going to work. This is going to work even with Coachella 2023. It's going to work. What do you do while you're at that event? You're snapping pictures, you're taking videos, you are documenting through vlog style. And if you're an educator or your business is rooted in education, maybe even eduvlog styling, right? What you're doing at an event, like in this example, Coachella 2023. What do? You take all of this content. Maybe you're doing lives while you're at the event or before, during, or after, going and seeing the acts or going and spotting the fashion, that sort of thing. Who do you meet there that you could collaborate with? Because they are a business owner and or a creator who's not that much bigger than you, but you just meet and you have great connections, you're networking, right? That's always another benefit to having fun at these events. Because if all you do is work and you never go out to any events, you never have any fun, you're going to crack up, right? So we don't want that for you. We don't want it to just be about stress, about produce, money, money, money. I know that's a lot of it because I've been doing it for 25 years. I get it. I get the hustle, I get the grind, but sometimes it's nice to kind of go and have double duty, have fun, create content from it, maybe share some of it live, right? I've gone to Vid Summit, which is a big YouTuber event, and I would do morning live streams while I was there, and my ideal customers always enjoyed it. Look at what Stacey's doing. Look at the things that she's learning and she's recapping from the night before, because Vid Summit was like a couple of days too. Um, Out in California when I went, actually, just like Coachella. And so those live streams are really good for interfacing with your ideal customers, with your brand enthusiasts, people that are already part of your brand based community. Of course, you can also just shoot straight up videos to edit to put out on YouTube, or little tips, tricks, techniques that you picked up while you were in this example, Coachella. And what did you learn that you could share with your people, whether it has directly to do with music or not, or directly to do with fashion or not? How can you take the event that you're at and like what you're being exposed to, what you're learning, what you're seeing, what's cutting edge, what's fresh, and how can you like remix or master mix that into just, whether it's a longer form YouTube video that maybe you post the MP4 of it on your Facebook page, in your Facebook group, you share in a Discord server, whatever's appropriate to you. So you have your live streams, you have your longer form videos, you have pictures, of course. But then what kind of quick little, like, snackable little bits can you share with people, with your brand-based community members, so that you are sharing that little tip, that little trick, that little technique, that little observation, a little fun moment that they can benefit from too. You can you take any of those quick little special moments and edit them down into like a YouTube short that you would repurpose as a TikTok, that you would repurpose as an Instagram and Facebook reel that you could just double publish simultaneously using the Meta Business Suite to help you do that. You're publishing it as a well optimized reel. So, yes, go and have fun. And ideally, you would be going to expos and events that have some sort of causal connection or nexus to your business, its offerings, something of interest to you / your ideal customers. Maybe that's something like Coachella 2023. Maybe it's a similar event, right? You know your industry best. You know your ideal customer best. You know and understand, what your offerings are all about to help solve the problem of your ideal customer, the problems of them, or help them to satisfy their most deeply held desires. So when you go to events like these, you're going to have fun. You're going to get a break from the norm. You're going to create a lot of content. And perhaps for somebody like me, in my example, going to Vid Summit, that's run by Daryl Eves and just is a ton of fun and a ton of great information. If you can ever go. Because even if you don't mean to run your content marketing, like say on YouTube. You're not trying to per se be a YouTuber or get paid by the creator economy. You would use YouTube and your video assets elsewhere off of YouTube on behalf of your business just for marketing, right? Marketing and sales based purposes. Vid Summit is still, this is unsponsored by Daryl Eves slash Vid Summit, but I'll just say, Vid Summit's a really good example of that. But what can you do? What can you do while you're out there having fun, while you're out there networking with other people, making great friends, making great fellow entrepreneurial friends? What can you do with the content that you create so that um, it'll just make your ideal customers happy? It'll make the people who are already following you on Facebook, following you on Instagram, following you on TikTok, subscribe to you on YouTube, and so on. What can you share even on LinkedIn that would really just tickle the fancy of your ideal customers, right? So you're taking the fun that you're having as a person and kind of like that entrepreneurial fun outing and, creating content, not just to document the memories, but to also serve as great content marketing for conversion based pieces of content that you can use long after the event is over, right? So the time sensitive entrepreneurial point today is whether it's Coachella or something else, what kind of events can you go to let loose that your ideal customer would love to go to or may also be attending themselves, so that they can live vicariously through you if they need to. Um, and they love that you're sharing the memories and everything that you've learned and experienced with them so that they feel that you're more one of them. You get someone like them with the problems and or desires that they have. And how can you use that content that you get to market long after the event is over? Okay. To drive more people to and through your marketing and sales funnel. Remember, your classic AIDA marketing funnel is awareness, interest, decision, and action. So, what can you do with the content from something like Coachella 2023 or an expo that you would go to that would interest your ideal customers? What kind of content can you create, edit down, and share that could properly optimized, kind of trend tracking style too, right? Get more people to become aware of the existence of you, your brand, and its offerings. Some of the content that you create is going to be created and optimized with keywords and or hashtags so that you just show up on the radar of your ideal customer. They weren't looking for you, they weren't looking for your offerings, but suddenly there you are, and you're an interesting person because you have interests that coincide and intersect with their interests, or at least some of their interests, right? So that's the awareness level of the AIDA funnel. What content can you create and share from this fun event that you went to where you might have networked your face off? What kind of fun content can you create that would get someone interested in following you on social, subscribing to you on YouTube? You have to think about creating some content from these fun events where it's not just awareness level and people get into the top of your marketing funnel. Now you're drawing them further down. What's going to make them interested enough to follow you? What kind of line can you put in the content? What can you say during the live stream, the video, the short form video content that gets someone interested enough in you as the brand leader so that they say, I'm going to go look at their social feeds. I'm going to see that they're stocked with all sorts of stuff that's interesting to a person like me with the problems that I have, the desires I want to satisfy. What can you share in that content to get somebody interested in giving you that follow, giving you that subscribe on YouTube, what have you? So that's awareness and interest. Now we have decision. What can you do with some of the content that you're going to create from this fun event to get people to call to action wise or otherwise get people to decide to subscribe to your email list, right? Because around 75% of your sales should be coming from your email marketing. The remaining 25% usually, typically, collectively and cohesively comes from a well optimized website and your social content marketing. So, what can you do to get people with some of the content that you're going to generate from this fun event that you're going to go to, Coachella or Coachella like, to get people to decide they're interested enough in you, your brand, and its offerings and its free content to keep on binging, sure, but to get on your email list? What can you offer to them that's going to make them decide they're willing to trade an email address for your wonderful email opt-in bribe? Is it a free video? Is it a coupon to purchase a product? Is it a quick little cheat sheet or quick start guide to get them started on their journey to solve their problem or satisfy their desire? And what is that? What could it be, right? So, and then of course there's A in that AIDA funnel, the second and last A, which is action. Sometimes you can create content that will have a call to action, to have somebody to take action to buy something from you. So when you go to an event like Coachella 2023, to Comic-Con, if that's something that your ideal customers would really love, and they'd love to see you as the brand leader, as your brand guru, getting out there and doing what they wish they could do so badly. Would you go to Vid Summit? Would you go to VidCon? What could you go to? The Oscars? Like, what can you go to so that you are interesting as a brand leader? You're having fun. Your ideal customers are having fun. Your brand followers, your brand enthusiasts are having fun. That would get them interested enough to perhaps take action and buy something from you, right? Are they hiring you for your expertise? Are they buying your merch? Are they supporting you on Patreon? What are they doing so that this way they're just titillated enough that they decide they're willing to vote with their money, take their money, they want what you have to offer? Okay, so this episode's entrepreneurial offense, financial offense tip is, I love the idea of you going out to these events, these expos, things like Coachella, and having fun. I want you to be able to go out there and create content, and never forget the second A that's in your AIDA funnel. What are you doing when you go to these events that you can bring back and metabolize to either have as a paid offering, right? We need to generate income in order to stay employed. Otherwise, we have an expensive hobby, right? We want to be self-employed. We want to go from side hustle to startup. So, what can we generate in connection with what we've learned at these events, what we've been exposed to at these events, that we can turn into a legit and fairly created paid offering? Or what kind of content that we can we create that we could get more people to take action to support our business one way or another, whether it's through Patreon, whether it's buying merch, whether it's investing in products and or services that we have. Never just go and create fun content while you're out there having fun and networking, and forget that at least some of the content has to have a call to action attached to it where you can bring home the bacon, right? So that you can keep going and doing these things. And your ideal customers can enjoy the fact that you're out there and doing these things for them and with them. So that's the entrepreneurial financial offense end of things. The financial entrepreneurial defense end of things is that save all your receipts, have a mileage log, or save your plane tickets. If you're going out of state from the state that you live in, check with your tax expert, whom I am not. Make sure that you have every last write-off that you can capture, so that when you're spending on these events to go learn and to have fun and to network and to get more exposure and new ideas, right? To know what's new and fresh out there. Make sure that you are writing off against your income as much of that event as possible. So all the travel, the meals, the tickets, everything. Don't leave a penny on the table. If you're driving, again, a mileage log, tolls, all those things. After 10 years of coaching and 25 years in total being an entrepreneur myself, I know that a lot of well-meaning entrepreneurs are great about going after the dollars to get more, but they forget about all the write-offs on the financial defense end of things. A lot of times these events can pay for themselves, right? It's totally worth going to these things. The more profitable you are, the more you're going to want to reinvest in events like Coachella, like Vid Summit, and so forth, Comic Con. You know, to reinvest back into your business, create more content, create more offerings, and so on, right? It's just an endless loop of financial offense and financial defense where you're not just working yourself to the bone, you are going out and networking and having fun too. But you've got a strategic plan to write off every dollar, decide how you're going to add value and make more dollars, and how you can take your content that you create in connection with these events to go through every level of the ADA funnel, like every good marketer and salesperson should be. And when you're an entrepreneur, you are both a marketer and a salesperson. You have to embrace that. So make sure you pick up my free guide at don'tbeafakeguru.com. Again, all one word. And yes, we're at the end of the podcast, but listen, all this talk has me really curious to see what you think about what we've covered today. For real, I want you to comment down below if you're watching the video podcast version of this episode on YouTube. If not, if you're listening to the audio only version, please navigate over to the Stacey Storino channel on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe and click that bell notification and select all, because you can not only get your questions and comments to me on my videos and all of my podcast episodes live on YouTube as video podcast episodes too, but if you're into that, but I also have plenty of YouTube trainings that are already on my channel in the form of long form videos, long form tutorials, and also quick snackable bites of advice in my YouTube shorts too. I always do want to hear from you. So the best place to reach out to me is in the comments section down below on YouTube. Comment, ask questions, share observations, you name it. Let's chat. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you on YouTube.